By the authority invested in me, I hereby declare this meeting of the Conshohocken Borough Council duly open and ready to conduct any business that may come before it.
Roll call.
Councilmember Totino?
Present.
Councilmember Griffin?
Here.
Councilmember Sokolowski?
Here.
Councilmember Barton?
Here.
Councilmember Stokely?
Here.
Vice President Flanagan?
Here.
President Leonard?
Here.
Mayor Aronson?
Here.
The first item on the agenda is the Eagle Scout presentation. Ms. Flanagan?
Okay, if Brenda
Brendan?
Flanagan would please come to, I guess, to the podium? Stephanie?
Yep.
So, whereas it's the intention of Conshohocken Borough Council and the Mayor to focus attention on noteworthy accomplishments and individuals. Today, friends and family have gathered to recognize Brendan Flanagan, Eagle Scout candidate of Boy Scout Troop 12. And Brendan, in conjunction with the Conshohocken Historical Society, Borough Council and Administration, and the Friends of Conshohocken Parks, Marywood Park Commission, Boy Scouts Troop 12, Barron Hill, PA, Boy Scouts of America, and many volunteers, has constructed the Conshohocken History Exhibition at Borough Hall. The exhibition of the Conshohocken history includes over 150 pictures and pieces of memorabilia from the Conshohocken Historical Society that were cataloged, cleaned, and organized for the installation of the display. Through the exhibition, visitors to Conshohocken Borough Hall will be exposed to the rich history of Conshohocken. In particular, the exhibit highlights the role of two prominent companies in Conshohocken's past, Lee Tire and Rubber Company and Allen Wood Steel, which provided a livelihood to thousands of Conshohocken residents. The display also includes details around the bequest of Mary Wood at her park house and property to the Borough of Conshohocken by Mary Wood, wife of Allen Wood Jr., and it was set aside as her wishes as a public park or playground for the recreation of the public. Whereas Brendan serves as an example to the youth of our community through his high level of personal achievement, leadership, and community service. The Borough of Conshohocken congratulates Brendan Flanagan on the completion of his Eagle Scout project and extends appreciation for his dedicated work and contribution to the community. Proclaimed the 6th day of March, year 2019.
Good evening. I just really quickly want to say some thanks to everyone. First of all, to the council for allowing me to work in this space in the first place. I'd like to thank the Borough, the Conshohocken Historical Society for allowing me access to all of the items and pictures that went up in the display. It's a long list of things. Sorry.
Take your time.
In particular, from the Conshohocken Historical Society, I'd like to thank Joseph Collins and Rich Gailey for just all the help they gave me. The borough staff has been incredibly helpful. I know that, doing something like this it's not every day this happens, so their willingness to work with me and transporting and the items and all, it was a great help. I'd like to thank Mr. Allenwood IV for donating several items and also helping with a lot of the history. It was a big help. I'd like to thank my fellow Boy Scouts from Troop 12. They helped with setting everything up and cleaning everything and packaging everything. I couldn't have done this without them, and I'd especially like to thank all the members of my family who helped, and especially my parents who were there with me the whole time, every step of the way. It was a big help from them. And I just want to say this has been an amazing experience, and I've been working towards Eagle Scout for several years. I started scouting when I was in first grade as a Tiger Cub, and now here I am, high school senior, and I'm so close now, and all of this has just been great. So thank you to everyone.
And as a special note, I would also like to point out it's Troop 12 from Barron Hill's 100th anniversary in scouting, and it's also their Scout Master's 50th year being involved in Boy Scouting. Congratulations. So, I need a picture with all the scouts.
Come on, Dad. Come on, Dad.
Yeah, you're in your uniform.
Should we get up with Kitty? Go up.
Yeah, should we go up there, like where it's? Okay.
Behind her.
And the mayor. Like the tall person.
Congratulations, Dad. It's exciting. It's exciting.
Thank you, it's wonderful. My hands are freezing. Jane, you need to be in the front. You're short. There you go.
We'll hide.
You can hide me. I'm good. Please hide me.
We're good.
Getting closer.
Part of this project, yes.
Where's Uncle Jim? I know. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Hey,
Yes.
Mr. Wood, good to see you again. Thank you.
See you later.
Okay. How you doing? Good. How you doing?
Jane, go through and tell Bob everything that you're on.
And Sean is getting his also.
Oh, okay.
Because he did the greenhouse in St. Philip's. In common. It'll be a double.
Jane, have you ever been to one?
No, that's what I heard, it's lovely.
The next item on the agenda is Public Services Update. Ray Sokolowski, Executive Director of Operations.
President Leonard, you just missed item B.
Yes, you did.
Okay, sorry, Ray.
Not yet, Ray.
The next item is hearing regarding a waiver of off-street parking for 103 Fayette Street, Pocoyono.
Ms. Stetler? Gotcha.
You're supposed to run.
No, I don't do that anymore. This is a waiver of off-street parking request under Section 271307C of the Conshohocken zoning ordinance, which allows council at its discretion to grant waivers of off-street parking requirements in the business commercial district. Property in question is 103 Fayette Street, which is now occupied by El Limon. El Limon is going to be moving, and the new business in there is a primarily takeout restaurant called Poke Ono. And I am going to let the president of the company tell you what that is. This is a situation where El Limon did have a waiver of off-street parking, and this is a very small space. There will be a few tables. There'll probably be outside dining. And I'll let Andrew take over and tell you about the business, and then you can ask whatever questions you have of me.
Good evening, Andrew.
Hi everyone, I'm Andrew. A little bit about Pocoyono. We're a healthy, fast casual restaurant specializing in Hawaiian poke bowls. poke is a deconstructed sushi roll, sort of, in like a bowl form, where customers move across the assembly line. Like Chris said, most of our business is takeout. I'd say roughly 75%. We'll be open from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. Monday through Friday. Sunday through Thursday. Friday and Saturday, we'd like to be open till 2 a.m. I know Melamone is currently open until that time, so we'd like to do that as well. So that's my business. I know this is about parking, so are you going to ask me questions, or would you like me to present about employee parking, customer
I
parking?
think what would be best is if you explain to council the steps that you took and explain to the administration.
Okay. So as far as employee parking, well, let me back up. We will have anywhere from about 2 to 6 employees on at any given 6-hour shift. Employees will come in around 6 or 7 a.m. Kitchen staff will be in early in the morning. They'll be out before lunchtime. We anticipate employing some local employees. In fact, one of our main kitchen staff employee is from Conshohocken. She won't be needing a car, so that'll help there. Our main focus is to use the commuter lot in the West Conshohocken. I mapped it out. It's like a 16-minute walk or something like that. If our employees choose to maybe catch an Uber from there down, that would be most ideal. I know there's the SEPTA lot, but that looked rather small, so that would be a backup.
And you are amenable to any, if the borough were to contract with other parking locations, you would fund that through your business, correct? So if there was an additional parking alternative that the borough were to come and say, we'd like you to consider specifically, and there was a cost associated with that, you've expressed to administration that that is something that you would take care of. And I just want to make sure that that's clear to council.
Yes, I'm very much open to that. And also, I would want to express to our new hires of Pokeano that, we would put all the parking information in Conshohocken in the onboarding material, so everyone's very well aware of the parking situation in Conshohocken, and so we're all on the same page. I'm very easy to work with, so. Customer parking, I think a large percentage of our lunchtime traffic is going to come from foot traffic coming from the river area of all the businesses over there. Dinner, we have an online delivery platform such as like Grubhub. They'll come get orders placed on their platform. Drivers will come. Takes about anywhere from 30 seconds to like a couple minutes just to grab the order and go. We also have an online ordering service. People can go right on our website and order takeout, and we prepare it, and they park for a minute, come in, grab it, and go. And then this isn't in place yet, but I have a location in Ardmore, and we have a parking issue there as well. And I thought of an idea to do maybe like a curbside pickup, which would be the customer would order their bowl online, they drive up, and then they give us a call, and then we run their meal right out to them without them even having to park or anything like that. So again, I'm open to working with you guys, and so that's what I have. So
Anyone have any questions?
How many tables do you think you'll have inside?
Right now, the architect has 6 tables.
6, 4 top?
6. I think there's like 3, 4 tops, and then like two tops.
Okay.
And then we're going to apply for the the cafe license as
Right.
well.
Right.
So there'll be some tables outside. Very few. It's like our business is built to move everybody quickly. We have 2 doors. Everyone comes in, goes down the assembly, and out the other door. So that's our main focus.
Okay.
The curbside pickup. This isn't something we have in place. This is an idea that could potentially help the situation. It would be where someone would go to Pokeono.com, order their meal. It would come up on our iPad in our restaurant, and then they could essentially pull up close to, maybe we could designate an area that, everyone knows that this is curbside pickup area, and then we run their meal out to their car, something like an Applebee's or something like that.
Right. I say that, I like the way that you're thinking, we're putting together a parking task force, and we're looking for ways to get creative.
Yeah.
And that might be one
Yeah.
of the things that we can.
Yeah, and again, we can work together. I'm open to it. I think it will help us, help the borough. So,
When are you looking to open?
I'm shooting for June. There's not too much to do in there. It's already zoned as a restaurant, mostly cosmetic stuff.
Anyone else? Thank you very much, and thank you for being proactive with the parking. We appreciate it.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you.
me. Thank you. Awesome.
If you're inclined, you'd have to make a motion on the waiver of off-street parking for Pokeono 103 Fayette Street.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next item on the agenda is Public Service Update. Ray Sokolowski, Executive Director of Operations. Good evening.
So I'm going
Ray.
to talk about two things, and two things that are completely polar opposite of each other. Couldn't be much different. The first thing, Tim from the EAC is here also, if you have any questions for him regarding any of this. The EAC actually approached the borough about planting some trees at some locations, publicly owned locations in the borough. Up to 15 trees could be planted, purchased from the PA Horticultural Society. We decided to get all 15 trees because we defined certain locations that it would make sense to plant them, and at the price, it makes complete sense. I think we're at $50, to purchase these trees each. And we have our Public Works people, along with the EAC, will have a community event in order to plant them. When I did the math on what it would cost the borough, it would be in the $8,000 to $12,000 range. So it's a huge cost savings. But these are the proposed trees. Tim designed the plan to plant these at the B field. So in the area that used to be the tennis court and now is the parking lot, these would be around the parking lot area and go up the side of the parking lot area along the side of the where the cemetery is and towards Caldwell Banker. What's Caldwell Banker now? Do you have the other picture? These are the different shades of trees. I think the one up top to the left you'll be familiar with. You see that on 11th Avenue now. But these other trees are a diverse group. They were chosen by Tim and some of the people that he works with, and it should provide a very unique look for that area. And it is, when you go up there, you don't realize how barren that area is. It's definitely bring a good look to it. So that's the proposed location. This is the parking lot, and they would go up alongside, and that large tree would be at the end here. So. Again, for the cost of approximately $750, I think it makes a lot of sense for the borough to take part in this. And I want to thank the EAC.
There's the whole plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the layout.
There's even a better picture. The time that Tim has put into this is, they're very dedicated people at the EAC, and this is a subcommittee of the EAC, it's the tree committee. And you obviously see that he's put some time and effort into it, and I'm sure it'll be a successful event. And it'll also be a community event because the planning will be a part of an EAC event.
So the EAC is holding the event on Saturday, April
sorry.
27th, 2019.
Yes. There any questions on that?
Ray, has there been any more talk regarding a pavement down the 13th Street side?
That's in the 2040 grant.
It is?
So we've applied for that.
Right, so that's on the agenda later.
Yeah.
Oh, is later on the
Scheduled
agenda.
later in the day.
Sorry.
That's okay, it's
But
okay.
we've applied for that, yes, so there is. This will not affect that in any way. In fact, knowing that Tim has made some recommendations, if that were to occur, they have some recommendations on the types of trees that would go around that.
And but also we need to make it clear that it does not affect the size of the field.
It does not. It does. This is nowhere in the area of any of the playing field. In fact, at one point, Public Works will be putting a type of railing around this parking lot to make sure that it is identified as a parking lot. So it has nothing. It will have no effect at all on the sporting area. This line of trees ends what is considered. It's about a 95-yard field. Right now.
And it does overshade, which is great.
Right.
It does. It will eventually. Yes.
Yes.
Any questions for
What was the date
Tim
again?
on that?
27th.
It is April 27th.
So it's in conjunction with Arbor Day.
That's correct.
Perfect.
As a matter of fact, the note says it is the day after Arbor Day.
Great.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Tim, for all your work on
Thank
it.
you, Ray.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
Tim.
Thanks,
Yes,
Tim.
thank you.
And thank you for the color. I love the colors.
And so the next thing is something that we've talked about a while, and that's the emergency management drill that we're going to have at the elementary school. We have a set date for that now. It's June 22nd. The drill, as far as the police end of it, will be run by Sergeant Connor. Sergeant Lennon will be involved, and Chief Gunning from the fire department will be involved in the fire department end of it. It has definitely gathered a lot of attention. So currently, we estimate approximately 100 to 150 active participants in this. We have 5 local police departments, at least 5 local police departments. We have numerous fire departments. Today I was at an EAC meeting or EOC meeting, and 2 fire departments from Upper Moreland that actually approached me to attend this training. We're going to have Narberth Ambulance is going to be involved in it. The county, Montgomery County, has committed their emergency operations unit to respond, as well as personnel. We're going to have numerous SWAT teams. State police are tentatively going to be there, and we're also going to reach out to the local media and local hospitals to get the hospitals, at least the conversation now is to have some members of the hospitals there to offer their opinions as to how people are triaged or taken to the local hospitals from that location. So it's becoming a pretty big event. We're actually going to need numerous, for lack of a better term, victims. The Boy Scouts would probably be a good idea for that. So we're going to reach out to them. But council, obviously, we're going to talk to council about it. There's going to be a setup here. There's going to be set up at that location. And then afterwards, after it's all complete, everybody's going to go to the community center for a luncheon. And basically, they're going to talk about all the scenarios and what can be done to improve everything. So it's a pretty big event. The important part of this is going to be to get it out to the neighborhood through all the social media, and we're going to do we're going to do letters, hand out letters to everybody in the neighborhood. Will it cause a little bit of an inconvenience? Yes. There's going to be some road closures that day. We're going to have to make arrangements to move some of the vehicles into parking areas away from the school. But we do have a school in the middle of a neighborhood. That is somewhat unusual now. Most schools are, they have their own parking complex and everything else. We don't have that here. So, we hope that this never were to happen, but if it were to happen, we would like to be able to know that we've practiced, have personnel that are aware of the building, know where to go, know what we're going to do. So it's going to be a pretty extensive event, and I hope everybody from the council and the mayor and everybody else shows up for the event. I think it'll be important that you're there. You have any questions on that?
I have one, right. Did you check with St. Matthew's to make sure there's not a wedding that time?
Oh, well, there was a wedding that day.
Oh, okay.
Well, we had a wedding for the Fun Fest. We worked around
Great.
that one, right?
Great.
But it starts at 2 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
So our hope is that everything will be wrapped up by that time. But we will have communications
Traffic will be so
with
much worse
the,
if there's a wedding.
the church and the wedding party to make sure that there's not an issue. That's the only thing that would
Right,
that would be affected right now.
okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Ray. The next item on the agenda is Recreation Services Update. Lauren Irizarry, Director of Recreation.
Hi, everyone. How are you tonight?
Hi, Lauren.
Lauren.
So, I just want to go over some things that have happened and taken place since the beginning of the year. Our activity guide was released back in January. It included our youth, adult, senior, and fitness programs for the spring and some of the summer. I wanted to come before council to let you know that through that activity guide and some other advertisements that have gone out, which I'll go over, we have increased our numbers in our programming. For instance, our Soccer Shots programming in the indoor winter session saw over 50 participants. We had to add another 2 to 3-year-old age group, which we ran simultaneously with the older group. And we still went on a wait list after that. We just didn't have the time in the community center to add another session, although it was asked. We just weren't able to do it at the time. We are now accepting registrations for our spring programming, and 2 of those sessions are almost filled already. That doesn't start until the end of March. I'm expecting that we're probably going to have to add another session to go on at another time. Our ballet program, which we started in September, we started with 1 class. We are now up to 2, and both were filled for our winter session. Unfortunately, our instructor is going on maternity leave, fortunately for her, but we'll come back in the fall with another session, so we're going to skip the summer. But the kids are great. They're learning, and they seem to love the class. Along with our some more of our younger children, we have our Tiny Tots Open Play that really has been a success every Wednesday and Friday. We have, a number of children that are in the community center that they're brought by their grandparents, babysitter, or parents. We have also, this winter, we worked with Conshohocken Little League, and we had an amazing baseball clinic. Conshohocken Little League really did a great job running it. He came to me and asked if there was any way that we could work together. We both came up with this clinic, a way for Conshohocken Little League participants already to keep busy during the winter, but we asked that they open it to all Conshohocken residents, which they did. We had 2 sessions run with 25 kids in each session, plus we allowed for walk-ins. So, which we got, I would say at least 5 a week, sometimes more for those walk-ins. Those nights, those Thursday nights, if you would have seen the community center and how filled it was, I think that, you would have been happy. So thanks to Conshohocken Little League for that. As far as our fitness programs, we are up and running with in-house fitness programs. We have a boot camp, we have yoga, Pilates, low-impact Zumba, which is now running 2 days a week, and that actually seemed to work better than our 1 day a week. We also have a body blast class, which has been our most successful fitness program. I'm really excited about it. I actually take the class. It's offered 2 nights a week, or you can do it one night. We've figured out some great things with our online registration, although we're still working on our website. But it was filled, the Body Blast class was filled in its first session.
That's great.
So, and we are allowing,
Are you able to walk again?
I am. After the first night, Stephanie saw me and my legs were a little sore, you know? But it's all good now, getting back into the swing of things. I spoke a little bit ago about the advertisements that went out. We had a mailer that went out in the beginning of the year. From what I understand, you all saw it, and our residents have seen it too. And we got, some phone calls about that from rentals, registrations, and, some more questions just for the community center at the Fell in general. Also, an initiative this year was to get Constant Contact up and running, which is a bulk email campaign. We actually have applied for it. We are getting trained on it. It was supposed to be this week, but with us closing on Monday, our meeting was moved back to this coming Monday. So Madison, one of my full-time assistants, she will be taking the training with me, and we are going to be working on sending out those bulk emails, whether it be a monthly newsletter. We're going to come up with some of those things just to let everyone know what we offer, because we do have so many signed up for emails through all of the programming that we offer and membership. I do want to give you some updates. On February 19th, Christine Doherty was hired as a summer camp director. For 2019, we are looking to run our own in-house summer camp. Since that time, she has been working and spending hours on planning, scheduling, rules, regulations. She's been giving me updates, throughout the week, and we've been meeting weekly. And we're planning on having that information and registration released on April 1st. We have had a lot of calls about an in-house summer camp. So fingers crossed that we actually get the registration for it, but I'm very hopeful.
And Christine is a resident of the borough.
Christine is a resident, yes, of Conshohocken. She moved here, and she's a teacher, and I'm excited to have her on board. And Kate and I will be working on sort of a supplement to the winter and spring, a summer activity guide. It'll be much less than the spring and winter, but that information will go in there as well. And we'll have the online registration on Rec Desk for summer camp, but it's a way to get the information out to our residents if they should inquire. Some of our events that are coming up, the Donofrio Tournament, the 59th Annual Donofrio Classic, yes, will begin Monday, March 25th with the final on Tuesday, April 16th. My staff has been working diligently to prepare for it. We are, chasing these 26 teams to get their rosters in. Tom Brady is working on the bracket tomorrow once we have all those rosters, which he should have had them by tonight. So that will be released so everyone will know when the games are. We have, just to let you know, we have already received more sponsorship than in prior years this year. So, and I still have people contacting us. We got them out early, we got to people early, and people were excited, to help us with the tournament because it's such a good thing for the Borough of Conshohocken. So our other events that are coming up, we have an Easter egg hunt on April 20th, the carnival in June, and we are having a movie night in July that has already been booked, and I'm currently working on the details for that. And that'll be released in the summer activity guide as well. Also, I wanted to point out Tim and the fire department will be at the Conshohocken Community Center at the Fell on March 18th. They're going to be visiting our seniors. It's in conjunction with Senior Bingo. They will be letting the seniors know that there are free smoke detectors available to them. So Tim and his staff will be there. And Kate will be putting that out for the residents. I wanted to point out that there has been an increase in our revenue from March 2018 until December 2018, as compared to those same dates in 2017, almost a $50,000 increase in revenue. And it's due to rentals of our facility and programming. So I just wanted to point that out to you, also you know where we are. I also wanted to point out that with the help of our Public Services Department, Ray has been great. The community center at the Fell has seen some cosmetic changes. Though they're small, I'm sure people, when you walk in, it is very noticeable. We have changed the paint in there, and we receive compliments daily on it, and from people who haven't been back in a while and remember what it looks like. We're also working on replacing the flooring that's in there currently, and it's in desperate need of replacement. So I think that'll make a big difference, and that'll pull people even more into the community center. So that's what we want. I just want to quickly give a personal perspective. On March 12th, believe it or not, it will be a year since I started for the Borough of Conshohocken. It was not easy. I will not, stand here and tell you that it has been easy. I left a job that I was with for over 12 years. It was comfortable. It was familiar. So the transition hasn't been easy. It's been more hours, more multitasking, more rentals, more in general, but that's because Conshohocken, for lack of a better word, is more. There's a rich tradition. There's the history that's here, as you can see by the presentation that was given tonight and everything that's out there, and I'm proud to say that I'm a part of that now. And I have never been a person to back down from a challenge, so I just want to point out that one thing, or a few things that have made my transition easier are the people that I work with on a daily basis. Stephanie has been wonderful to work with, and she really does know a lot and sort of amazes me, and is always willing to give that help and advice that her staff needs to kind of succeed. Ray and his team, especially Dan Ingram and Mike Maxwell, have been great. Anything that I need, facility and maintenance-wise, it's a phone call and it's no problem. And, that goes to Ray as well. And then the rest of my coworkers, Kate, Angela, George, Tim, Brittany, Allison, Chris, everyone that I've worked with this past year has just been amazing. Without my staff at the community center, Maddie, Tom, Gloria, Chris, Cortland, Geneva, Ronnie, and Dave, and none of what I do or put out there is possible without their help. So I do want to thank them, and last I want to thank you, the council and mayor, for allowing me to do my job and be supportive when we need it, or when I need it. I am looking forward to staying here and to making what we have even better and expanding on a few other things. So, thank you.
Thank you, Lauren. Thank you for your great effort and your dedication. We all sincerely appreciate it and are proud.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold it in, Mom.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is to conduct interviews for board and commission vacancies.
The first individual that was slated to interview is Holly Hulse. She has the flu, so she is going to be invited to come back on March 20th if that works with her schedule. So the first individual tonight will be Mr. Snyder for the vacancy on the EAC. So Tim, if you can please come to the podium.
Good evening, Tim.
Good evening, council and everybody. My name is Timothy Snyder, and I'm applying for the position, the vacancy of the EAC. I've started coming to the EAC in July on the suggestion of Yaniv and Matthew when they were walking around the neighborhood campaigning, and I was concerned with the trees in Conshohocken. So they said, come to a meeting. So I started coming to a meeting, and have been just about to every meeting since, and I was asked to maybe lend a hand and talk to some of the people that were interested in a possible shade tree team. So since then, I've established the shade tree team under the Friends of the EAC, and we've had 5 meetings. We got 9 people trained. In a few days, it'll be 9 people trained with tree tenders training, and I'm excited to be here. So, any questions?
What is your background?
My background is in horticulture. I work at currently work at Chanticleer Garden in Wayne, which is a public garden. Going into my 7th year as a seasonal assistant horticulturist. Before that, I worked, I went through the Longwood Gardens Professional Gardener Program, which is a 2-year accelerated horticulture program, and received my certification for that. I worked in construction at some times in between gardening, but my background has basically been gardening since high school. I worked with a Japanese gardener for about 5 years or so, and studied a lot of aesthetic rock placement and things like that. So I'm good with my hands, and I'm passionate about plants and the environment.
What do you hope to see the residents get out of this program?
Out of the shade tree, or just I hope to provide education for residents in proper pruning. So and work with figuring out all the permits and all that kind of stuff, whether people can do it themselves or not. But make sure that the trees are well cared for, so that they know how to plant trees properly, how to care for them. There's a lot of common mistakes in public horticulture and just horticulture in general of trees planted too deeply, where the root flares are buried, and it's just like a waiting game until the tree dies, because the root flare has to be up where it's different cell tissues. So there's another problem where they're often over mulched, and the mulch just causes dampness in that part. So just awareness. Hope to get everything running so that we can do tree plantings for the public, maybe do some offers with either discounted trees, or maybe people who maybe couldn't afford one, maybe try to do some giveaways. Just try to promote like a nicer, more tree-filled community, just help make it more beautiful, maybe have some, put a focus on aesthetics in the public areas. We can get some more flowering trees and things like that for seasonal interest.
Do you plan on educating the residents as to the health benefits that go along with trees?
Yeah. I'm going to write an article this month for our newsletter for the EAC on proper tree planting, but there's a lot of other benefits. Just there's less violence and just less depression. There's lots of studies that show that better for asthma, because they collect all the pollutants from the air, collect in the leaves, and then it takes it out of the air. It cools the community, reduces the heat island effect. Kind of like, because it can be a significant difference on the sidewalks from an area that has no trees to an area that is shaded by trees. Not to mention the stormwater. It does reduce significantly because the surface area of the leaves hold that water from reaching the impervious surfaces, and it kind of like delays the time that it takes for all that water to reach the streams and into the river. So more tree cover, more plant cover, grasses as well, but trees do a lot for stormwater reduction, not to mention the amount of water that they can use up.
Tim, first of all, I'd like to thank you for all your work you've already done with the Tree Commission. It's been exceptional, and you've really dedicated yourself already.
Thank you.
And for spending all that time with me, showing me where all the trees were going, explaining the trees. It was great. But on the EAC, is there anything in particular that you see that needs attention or you would like to focus on?
Since I started attending the meetings, like right from the first meeting, we were talking about recycling and just all the different topics are of interest to me, really. And I really felt like we have a really great group in the EAC. Everybody's really receptive, and it's not about like whose idea it is. It's about moving ideas forward and trying to make a difference. And you know, like I'm a creative person. I'm a very detail-oriented person. So like I pick up on a lot of details of things, and sometimes look for like what's missing that would help kind of move things forward or might help educate people more. Like confusion on like what things can be recycled. Like I was always confused about whether it says no, take the lids off, but can you recycle them? So like I think that the people that really care and they want to recycle everything might not know whether they're doing the right thing or not. So like there's things like that. I not to toot my own horn, but we came up with a mascot for the EAC, and it was really fun, and it just kind of evolved. But they wanted to do something for educating the kids, so Debbie and Tim came up with an idea, and I just thought of the symbol of the EAC, which looks like a little sprout, and I thought, why not extend that down farther and then add some cartoon legs and hands and, you know, a happy, welcoming face. And so I've been like racking my brain to come up with ideas, and, you know, we're getting a costume made for the parade. And it's just all because when I was a kid, when I was in first grade, we started the recycling. I was on the recycling team, and we brought all the blue bins around to the different school rooms, and it just got my, you know, I was always cared about the environment, and admired my friend who brought his lunch in a brown paper bag every day, and then when he was done, he folded it back up and put it in his bag. And I was like, why did you do that? And he's like, well, it's clean, so I don't need to throw it away. So that little thing that I observed with him kind of sparked more interest in like simple things to help with the environment. So, you know, I think that we can use Sprout and like develop that. That's one of the things that I'm kind of getting more and more excited about, especially since I have 2 young daughters. And, you know, like teaching them early and getting them interested in their environment and the world around them. So I think like Sprout's a good platform that, you know, I would like to like help develop with, you know, teaching kids different ways that they can help so that they're included with the whole thing in the community.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Does anyone else have any questions for Tim?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim.
Mr. Adlin?
Hi, everybody.
Good evening.
Hi. I'm feeling a little silly being here at this point after seeing your wonderful presentation. Not exactly sure what the committee entails, but my name is Bill Adlin. I saw more than the curve. I saw about the position, and I'm passionate about Conshohocken, and I'm passionate about the environment. I don't have a horticultural background, but I thought I'm at the point in my life where I could start devoting more time to other things, and I thought, you know, 2 passions, Conshohocken and the environment, I thought maybe I could help out. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm a teacher. I've been teaching 3rd grade and 2nd grade for 24 years in Tredyffrin, Easttown. And I try to bring environmental studies into the classroom, and I've had gardens at my own residence, and I bring canvas bags to go shopping instead of using the plastic ones. So it's definitely something I'm passionate about, but I'll look to you to see if you have any questions about anything. I've never served on any committees, but I would be very interested to help out where I can.
I have a question about how you would approach children. Since you are a teacher, what would be some things that you could implement, say, at our library where we have educational programs?
Sure.
For the children?
I think just educating them about the environment and how it's in danger and things that they can do. I mean, if you give kids power
Right.
to put it on themselves, like their parents aren't the only ones that recycle things. They're not the only ones that can be less wasteful. Kids are probably more wasteful than the grown-ups are, and if they learn that they don't have to be, I think that's good for everybody. At my school, we actually have a garden where we grow vegetables and we donate them to the Chester County food shelter, food pantry, I think.
Right.
And we get the kids involved with that. We do some planning outside of our classroom. So I think just anything you can teach kids about their world empowers them to feel passionate about it. And like you said, you teach them from a young age, then they grow up that way. I mean, I think I didn't learn about the environment and how I could take care of it when I was a kid, but I think it's so important these days more than ever. So I think the more you can do, whatever it is, whether it's reading them books about the environment, teaching them about solar energy and wind power, and when they get older, they can make those choices rather than rely on how things have been. You know, they're going to be the ones that are going to be more important than we are even in making those changes.
Right. Well, Colleen and I have been discussing conservationism, and that's how we were taught as children. When you leave the room, you turn off the light. Tim had mentioned about don't throw out a newspaper or a paper bag,
Yeah.
fold it up and reuse it. As a former teacher, I think there are things we can teach children. They're small, they can do it themselves, and it empowers them to think about the environment at their level.
Definitely, yes, absolutely. You put it in their court, they
Right.
take ownership of
Right.
it,
Right.
and then
That's like an ongoing
they
thought
live
of
that
ours.
way, hopefully.
Mhm.
And
Thank
it
you.
stays with you forever.
It does. It stays with you
Absolutely,
forever. Right.
absolutely.
Anyone else have any questions?
I think this is a good time to mention, whether you're appointed or not, it's a public meeting, and we have a very, very strong core group of volunteers, so
Right.
you would always be welcome to come
Great.
and come to our events and
Thank you.
participate fully. So,
Great.
so
I
please
appreciate
do, no
that.
matter what happens.
Thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ms. Kratz?
I'm really short and seeing me over this darn thing. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Sarah Kratz. I'm a resident here on Hector Street in the Borough. I'm interviewing for the Dog Park Advisory Committee. I'll start with I love dogs and I really love my dog. We had senior dogs that were little Chihuahua and a Pomeranian. They've since passed, and we adopted a puppy back in September. And as soon as she was old enough, we immediately signed her up for the dog park. We were very excited to get her to be a part of that. We're really working to socialize her. We actually, tomorrow night, we're adopting our second dog. So all from Home at Last Dog Rescue. So we're really excited to have Chloe come live with us tomorrow night. I'm a bit stressed. I have a lot to do when I get home. But, it's nice to kind of grow our family in that way. I think it's really important not only for the dogs in the community, but I think it's a great way for community members to interact with one another. We started, I'd say, second week of January or so, the dead of winter, but there's still a few of us out there. And, you start out talking about your dogs, but then start talking about the borough and where we live, what we like about the community, as well as, just the little things that we want to change. It was really fascinating, the conversations that, began with these individuals. So I do think it's an important part of the community. I know it's recently acquired, so I think there's definitely a lot of opportunity there to not only work with the space itself, but I believe they did an event at the brewery, because I do follow them on Instagram. So I think it's nice to not only use that as a way to interact locally with groups, but hopefully other dog rescues, and just kind of a starting ground for there. I do have a couple ideas. Like I think dog play dates and meetups, more of a scheduled time where you would know that other dogs are going to be there, because nothing breaks Lucy's heart more than to show up and there's no dogs at the dog park. Keep telling her, like, it's dead of winter, like, it'll get better, Lucy. I just think it's something that would be really great for me to get involved. I'm currently doing project management, so if you need anything organized, scheduled, followed up on 10 times over, I'm your person. I did do marketing for a little bit, so just not a ton of it, but social media, that sort of thing. I'm definitely, I've managed a marketing budget, so I'm somewhat familiar with that. And in college, I actually worked at a dog kennel as well. So, all right, any questions?
Any questions?
I think you've covered everything. You're great.
It's been a long day. I'm like, I'm gonna go in there. I told my boss, I'm gonna go in there, and I'm like, I need to stop talking, especially if it's about my dog. My husband told me to get a hobby. I'm like, oh, this would be a hobby. He's like, that doesn't count. It's about your dog, so.
I think you'll be wonderful at it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Logistically, there is one vacancy on the Dog Park Committee and one vacancy on the EAC. The applicants for tonight will be on your agenda on the 20th for consideration for appointment. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is consider appointing applicants to the parking task force. Steph?
The compilation of the parking task force is made up of the following: 2 members of Borough Council, which are designated as Councilmember Totino and Councilmember Stokely, 2 Borough residents, 2 Borough business owners, 1 member of the Planning Commission, and 2 persons with a background in parking design or management, which administration is recommending appointment of our Chief of Police, George Metz, and our Traffic Engineer, Brian Keaveney. The individuals that have applied for the position are Marianne Costello, Rita Montemayor, Julian Morelia, Betty Stanley, James Flanagan, Stacy Allen, Brian Keaveney, and George Metz. At this point, if you're inclined, we can make a motion on the individuals that you'd like to appoint, or we can go individual by individual.
I would like to recommend we put them all in the
Okay.
task force.
I'll second that.
I don't know that we can do that.
The resolution stipulates that you can have at least no more than 2 members of the Borough Council, at least 2 Borough residents, at least 2 Borough business owners, at least 1 member of the Planning Commission, at least 2 persons with background in parking design or management.
Okay, so I'm in support of what Bob's recommendation to appoint all.
There's a motion on the floor to appoint all applicants as applied, and there is a second, so we'll do a roll call vote. Start with Councilmember Totino. You are voting for that motion.
I am voting for the motion that Bob made, yes.
Okay. Councilmember Griffin.
Yes.
Councilmember Flanagan.
You skipped.
Oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Sokolowski. That's my fault.
Yes.
Councilmember Barton.
Yes.
Councilmember Stokely.
Yes.
Vice President Flanagan.
Yes.
President Leonard.
No.
Motion passed, 6-1.
That's what it is.
Manager matter stuff?
The next item under Manager Matters is to ratify and confirm the approval of the January ending Treasurer's Report and accounts payable. Note that this is on because the voting session in February was canceled due to the weather. The accounts payable is in the amount of $1,106,359.34. I just need a motion to approve.
I'll make that motion. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
The next item on the agenda is to ratify and confirm the authorization of special counsel to file an appeal to the Montgomery County Court of Common Pleas of Zoning Hearing Board's decision on the substantive validity challenge to Ordinance 08-2017. Note that this vote was taken in executive session on February 6th, 6-1. I need a vote to ratify and confirm.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
I'd like to make a comment on that.
Please.
Note for the record that Councilmember Griffin has opposed.
And upon advice of legal counsel, the ordinance is considered defensible, and therefore I am voting in favor of the appeal.
So to confirm for the record, we have a vote to ratify and confirm the authorization, 6-1. Thank you. The next item is to ratify and confirm the DCED letter for the grant extension for 51 Washington Street. This letter has gone out. Again, you are ratifying and confirming. I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. The next item on the agenda is to consider approving Resolution 2019-04, authorizing the submittal of the Montco 2040 Implementation Grant application. This application has been drafted and actually submitted by Ms. Stetler. Thank you, Chris, for all of your work. It was done in conjunction with Karen McNair, our borough engineer. Karen, thank you, and Ray Sokolowski, our executive director of operations. The intent of the grant is to improve the safety and accessibility of the B field by installing sidewalks around the field that currently we do not have. It would increase the walkability and accessibility from the neighborhoods onto the field and connect the B field with the rest of the borough. The grant is an 80-20% match. We've submitted it to Montgomery County for consideration. We need to do a resolution. Again, it was on your agenda for consideration in the February voting session. It was canceled, so we submitted the application to Montgomery County, and they're allowing us to submit the resolution at a later date if you are so inclined to do so.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
The next item on the agenda is to consider approving Resolution 2019-05, which would establish temporary traffic restrictions on West 2nd Avenue. Important to note that, again, this is a temporary resolution which would permit the borough 90 days to implement the restrictions on the one side of 2nd Avenue and to do an evaluation to determine if it is in the best interest and for the safety and welfare of our residents and our visitors and our businesses in doing so. We'd have 60 days to evaluate, and then if so inclined, we'd have 30 days to consider an advertisement to change the ordinance, and it would be implemented at that point.
I will make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Item F is to consider adopting Ordinance 03-2019, which would amend regulations of the Vehicles and Traffic Ordinance. Note that this is limited only to the 2-hour parking limitation alongside 400 block of Fayette Street in front of Borough Hall. It's to accommodate the business needs of Tower Health.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
The next item is to consider authorizing a donation to the Conshohocken Soapbox Derby. Note that there are $2,000 budgeted in the 2019 budget.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
The next item on the agenda is for discussion only this evening. The borough is currently working with our auditors and our actuary to ensure compliance with the new GASB, which is the Government Accounting Standard Board's regulations. There are new requirements for valuing the liability costs associated with post-employment benefits that are provided to retirees. So we had a GASB 45 evaluation done for our 2015 financials and the liability that came from that. The valuation now has new restrictions and new regulations that are required for the fiscal years beginning June 15th of 2017. So we're working with our actuary to do those valuations. But the report from 2015 designates the projected benefits, the present value of those benefits, the unfunded actuarial accrued liability of those benefits, and the total annual OPEB to the cost to the borough. And the employees in those categories are broken down into 4. They are the administration, the fire, the police, and public works. And the greatest liability generates from the police force. So based on this liability, the borough needs to create a GASB qualified trust in order to pre-fund all or some of the liability generated from these other post-employment benefits. So right now we have been fiscally setting aside funds earmarked for OPEB, but they're sitting in a checking account, and the fund balance is approximately $1.3 million. In order to fulfill the obligations under GASB 75 with our actuary, this is an outstanding item that really should be addressed in 2019. It's important to note that GASB 75 does not require you to pre-fund any of the liability. But the actuaries are going to provide a recommendation of what you should deposit annually. This will be, again, I will have more information once the actuary has done her valuation for the 2018 and 2019 financials. PFM is the group that manages both the police and fire pensions and their investments. They were selected through an RFP process in 2015. They also handle OPEB trusts. So the investment advisory agreement would extend the services the firm currently provides for the police and fire pension plans to the OPEB trust as well. So you'd be utilizing the same firm, so you'd have continuity of services and a decrease in fees because they would be managing 3 plans and those fees would be aggregated. So again, the fiscal impact noted above in your materials was that the OPEB funds are sitting in a borough checking account. However, the generation of the trust would transfer those monies to a true fiduciary fund. In other words, those dollars would no longer be available should you need them for operational capital emergency purposes. However, you would be ahead of the game in terms of municipal management and that you are actually pre-funding some liability that is going to come to fruition at some point. And we're talking millions of dollars. So this is a fiscally responsible decision that I am recommending that you make, that our actuary and our finance consultant are recommending that you make. So the recommendation tonight is, while it will not fully address the financial liability, we can't ignore it. We would be addressing it, and we would be helping to ensure the financial stability of the borough in the future. So there are 4 agenda items that I will ask you to consider over the next 2 weeks, and that we will, if you have any questions or concerns, we can discuss them in more detail, but it would be to approve the creation of the GASP Qualified Trust for the OPEB, to approve the investment advisory agreement with PFM Asset Management for the borough's OPEB Trust, to authorize the borough manager to serve as the borough's authorized officer and plan administrator for the OPEB benefit plan, and to authorize the borough manager to execute the documents related to the generation of the OPEB Trust. Are there any questions today? Okay.
Need motion?
I do not need a motion.
Okay.
Discussion only at this point. There's a lot of information, so take the, go back, take time to digest it, let me know if you have any questions, and then we'll discuss it again on March 20th. Okay. I have 2 quick add-ons to the agenda, but if you can get the Tower Health one up and running. I'm going to jump to Ms. Barton. PSAB conference requires that the borough designate a voting delegate, and she will be attending on behalf of the borough. So I just need a motion to appoint her as the delegate representing the borough.
I'll make that motion.
I will second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, this is going to be hard to see. Tower Health is up and running. I'm hoping that the community is aware. I know that we are meeting with representatives from Tower Health on a regular basis, and they're very pleased with the response that they've had from the community. So they're a great asset. They're serving the community. It's been a good relationship to date. They are asking to finalize their signage package, their sign package. And in front of you is what they're proposing. You can't really see. Thanks, Kate. There are individual letters, and they will be put on canopy outside the front of the building. The urgent care portion of that is backlit. But they attempted to fit in with the rest of the aesthetic of the building, and I think that they did a pretty good job.
Right.
So there was an intent on their part to proactively reach out and look at the rest of the building, and this is what they're proposing. They've gone through zoning, they've talked with Chris, and they'll need a permit for electrical for the backlit portion of it. But we've, in our relationship and agreement with Keystone, all signage was to go through council for approval, so this is for your consideration this evening.
Is this in line with how we handled the YMCA signage?
It is.
And what part is it the white letters that are lit, or is it the whole sign?
I believe that it is the whole sign.
The whole sign, okay.
And will it be lit all night long? or just during business hours?
I believe that it is all night long.
Okay.
The attempt is to identify their business.
Right. And urgent care.
Correct.
It's important,
I get
right.
it, yeah.
Right.
And what are our closing hours?
9 p.m.
That's what I thought. And do we reserve some parking spaces?
We reached out to them, yes. We've worked directly with Kelsey.
Thank you.
Where is it? Do you need a motion?
I think it's necessary.
I do need a motion.
I will make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
That is all I have, President Leonard.
Thank you. So, public comment?
Legal? Legal? Yes.
Mr. Costello?
Hi, good evening. First off, on behalf of the Conshohocken Soapbox Derby, we'd like to thank you for your continued support of our organization, our event. Our first sign-up will be March 14th at the Conshohocken Fire Company, number 2. And if I could send the additional sign-up dates that will occur in April and May to somebody here, can we get them advertised through the Borough? Okay, there'll also be some additional information. We do have a few cars that are looking for children to drive, and there are some people available if local residents have no idea what they're doing with Soapbox Derby and like to get involved. We can very much help them out and teach them what to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else for public comment? Mayor Aronson?
Yeah, a few things. I did want to start out by giving my deepest condolences to the family of Paul McConnell, one of our former council presidents. He was a devoted member of our community. He loved Conshohocken, the community garden, Conshohocken Rotary Club, and of course his beloved cat, Billy Sky. Council and administration will be working on a way to honor him this spring. So with that, on to a little more fun. So we have a CPR class being put on with myself, the Conshohocken Police, and a team from Einstein Health. It is completely booked up. We have 30 spots filled, and we don't know how many people are just going to wander in. So it seems like we really filled the need. So we will definitely look at doing a second class down the line. That is going to be, that's going to be on March 23rd, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Conshohocken Brewing Company. And it's free. Okay. And then this is one of our signature events for the EAC. It's our streets cleanup for the spring. It's going to be focused on the east side of Conshohocken, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. And as you can see, we've had some really tremendous buy-in from the community. Yoga Home is going to do a meditative walk at 9:15 a.m. to the cleanup. And brunch is going to provide our coffee. The Rotary Club sponsored all of our T-shirts, and the VFW is providing lunch afterwards. So we really were able to integrate as many businesses and organizations as we could for this. And that's it.
Mr. Stokely?
Yeah, I just want to remind everybody about the St. Patty's Day Parade on March 16th. It starts at 2 p.m. at the Hayfield, 11th in Fayette. Also, did we get the candy straightened out?
You have enough candy?
I believe we have.
Oh, my God.
Steph?
Candy is ordered.
Good. Chocolate, right?
We have to ration it. We do.
We have to
We
ration
do.
it.
We have to remember that there's more avenues down the road.
I think it's Dale that needs to ration better.
Dale needs to be.
We'll put it on Dale. He needs to learn.
Dale.
No, Dale, yes. He needs to learn no.
I'll talk to him.
I'm kidding.
Ms. Barton?
The only thing I have to say is I am very excited about the Shade Tree Commission. There has been a lot of work done. The group that is participating in this has been a joy to work with. They're very energetic. Have lots of ideas, and how to get this out and into the neighborhood. So I look forward to working with them all again.
I don't have anything this time.
Okay.
We have a Marywood Park Commission meeting on Monday at 7 o'clock, so I will have a report at the next meeting.
Ike?
Yeah, I'd just like to thank Ray and the boys down at the Borough for the snow removal and keeping the streets open during these snowstorms. They do a great job.
Yes, they have.
They did.
Mrs. Tino?
So usually by the time it gets to me, whatever it is has already been said. And that's a couple of things for tonight, but I really can't go without echoing what the mayor said regarding Paul McConnell. I think he'll be sorely missed. What an incredible asset to the people's lives that he touched and the things that he did for the community overall. On a positive moving forward, I'm really excited about the parking task force. It's neat that we finally have appointed and have a team ready to go. We've been hearing some good ideas. Not sure how feasible some of them are, like the one that the recommendation suggestion of having a curbside pickup, but during the interviews, when we've been talking to folks, there's been other kind of creative ways between trolleys and then even the striping, which we've done on other streets, but I'm excited about that. EAC, really fantastic. Thank you again, Tim. It's great. And if we have both of you happen to be part of it, that would be great, because I have a lot of passion around the junior EAC piece too, so that would be cool. Anyway, sorry I was long-winded tonight, making up for other times.
Chief Metz?
Preceding the St. Patrick's Day Parade is a 5K that the firehouse runs every year. Just to remind everybody of that. Everything's approved with PennDOT. We're ready to go. Look forward to seeing everybody there.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned. Yes, sorry.
I apologize. I thought it's the last minute. There is this Saturday, if I can put this up here, Wanted Dead or Alive, the Spotted Lantern Flag Seminar. And
Yes.
it's
Yes.
Methodist Church from 10 to 2. This is a free event. And last year, the Spotted Lantern Flag really took hold in some areas where the sidewalks were just covered with them. And so one of our members on the Shade Tree team, Brandon, spearheaded this and worked with Yaniv in setting up this event. And so somebody from the Penn State Extension speaker will be coming and letting us know a free lecture about what we can do to help prevent the spread. These insects do not survive, if I remember correctly, over the winter, but they lay their egg masses on surfaces, whether it's like tree trunks or even stones. So you'll learn how to identify them, and you can scrape them off with a credit card and put them in alcohol, and that will help kill them. But I'm looking forward to learning more. I haven't had an actual lecture that I've been to, just kind of feedback from one of the prior. But there are certain trees that they tend to seek out and like laying their eggs on them. So if the more people that attend can be educated on this, the better, because we can spread the word. And then if everybody kind of puts in a little bit of time scouting for these and potentially killing them, that will greatly reduce the numbers of them affecting our trees.
Thank you. So it's just to confirm date and time. It's this Saturday.
And there is a Facebook event.
Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Meeting adjourned.
Public comment.
We did it first.